Us short kings definitely have the hardest time amounting to anything grand or worth seeing. Our height is quite literally the scale of our achievements. If you're over 6'3" listening to this, I just want to say how much I wish I was you right now. I may achieve the same level of financial or family success as a tall person later in the future, but you know what? I probably put in at least double the work. There's just so many elements and opportunities in my life that have been hindered as a result of my short stature. Both my parents are around 5'1"-ish, so I can't really expect much from here on out. It makes sense to me now why my parents looked at me like I was crazy when I said I wanted to be a pro hockey player 10 years ago. I always thought my growth rate was going to be steady until like 21, because that's what all the sources say, but I wasn't part of that statistic. See, this is why I don't trust science or vaccines. It's all a bunch of government conspiracies and 9/11 was an inside job. Shit, sorry, wrong video, my bad. I really had myself believing I'd grow to be like 6'1", thinking if I grew 2 inches every year, I'd be able to make it to the big league, you know? However, after 2021, I don't think I grew one bit. Also, if you're watching this video and you're like, wow, this guy's content is pretty interesting to watch, I've got my whole playlist of this kind of content right up here. Make sure to subscribe too so you don't miss out. I remember hearing something along the lines of a study that short people are more prone to foster psychopathic and narcissistic traits. Obviously untrue, but it can make sense if you think about it. To cope with the overbearing stress of not being able to reach the cookie jar, my kind resorts to ending the life of another person. The jokes eventually begin to boil over, and the next thing you know, the old 4'11" Japanese janitor starts crashing out. True story, by the way. Back in the 4th grade, the troublemakers of the class were roasting the poor guy over his race and height. I distinctly remember when he finally snapped when he jabbed his fingers into their stomachs like some Naruto shit. I don't know if it's like a Japanese discipline tactic or just improvised on the spot, but I'm pretty sure he got fired, though I can't blame him. Like, if I'm 40 and some stupid kid starts pressing me over my height, I'm just saying throwing hands is not entirely out of the equation. And of course, I could never forget the looming worry that I might be single for the rest of the time I have left on this earth. Believe it or not, I used to have relative ease talking to women. Like 4 or 5 years back, when nobody had hit their growth spurt yet, was my golden era of what the youngsters like to call Riz. At the time, I was lucky hitting my growth spurt earlier. I went from a pitiful 4'10" to a staggering 5'4" in about 6 months. Simply put, I had less competition. All those golden retriever boys hadn't peaked to their full form, so I had a significant advantage in the market. Plus, I had my lethal Asian face card until that got fucked over by acne. Fast forward to present day and I'm still 5'4", roughly about the average size of most chicks my age. I know some people say women like a short king, but I haven't had much luck recently in that department. The highest chance I've got is a girl who's shorter than me, but that's the thing. That would make me look like I'm dating a literal child. Pedophilia is personally a boundary I won't cross, by the way. I knew this 6'5" dude in high school who I swear only prayed over the girls under 5 feet. If they look like a child, regardless of age, your best bet is to steer clear. Then this guy would brag about how much game he got, and I told him that kindergartners don't fucking count. Eventually, after a series of failed talking stages and an on and off relationship, I landed myself what I would say was my first real relationship. In retrospect, the first girl I dated was so much better in terms of literally everything, but I was just fucking stupid. Anywho, the second girl and I only lasted a whopping 2 months because she started going for one of my closest friends at the time. 2 years later, and I was able to piece together a rough timeline. About halfway through, she started hitting on my friend along with a bunch of dudes over Snap. It was later revealed that he was actively trying to slide in and break us up. That was an incredibly angering revelation, because he had been one of the close homies who had been comforting me during my sniveling, crying, heartbroken phase. He was about 5'10", I'd say, but what rubbed me wrong was he was definitely not as good looking as me. I know I ain't Ken, but of all people, why'd you have to go with the lanky, 3 out of 10 curly-haired Asian kid? Oh my god, it makes me mad just thinking about it. Also, he broke up with her 2 weeks after my breakup, because he said he didn't trust her. The girl who cheated on me for you. Logic 1000. Pretty much ruined my relationship for absolutely nothing. Like, if you're gonna steal from me, at least enjoy the fruits of your labor, otherwise just yourself. But then again, only 2% of high school relationships actually end up in marriage, 50% divorce anyway. It's just that Mr. 5'10" steal yo girl outshone my decent personality. Forever scarring, I tell you. Yeah, but so what, right? I mean, I could make up for that lacking element with something else. Maybe I'm really athletic. Wrong, but not entirely. In the prime of my childhood, I was the fastest, strongest, dexterous little Asian kid in all of elementary school. And I was bullied tons, so I had to adapt. All the grade 6ers terrorizing me, I had to learn how to survive. My main bully, who I mentioned in this video, was actually in my grade. But right now, I'm bringing up this one prick who was in grade 6 when I was in grade 3. The bastard named Cody, who I will never forget. He liked administering the occasional roast session over my height. I could take that kind of stuff from him because I dealt with it every day from the main bully who paired the verbal taunting with the physical abuse. But what Cody did, he did the unforgivable. You guys remember when everybody had like a binder of Pokemon cards that they'd flex on the playground after school? I wasn't rich by by any means, and had rather a humble collection that I held dear. If anything, I actually like the combat system of the game over the trading and flexing, but on that one horrible day, Cody striked. My prized crocodile was ripped out of the binder's plastic sleeve, bent a million times, and thrown into a puddle. If you ever find this video, Cody, go f yourself and get bent like how you did to my precious crocodile. Here's some decent advice I'll give to all the short people out there. As long as our height begins with 5, the gym is our second home. Gotta do anything and everything in our power to make up for being short. But you know what really sucks? How unfortunate it is that my taste has to be tailored to my height. I think it's some kind of psychological thing in our brain, but some outfits just don't look good on shorter dudes. You wanna look like a rich mafia guy? Forget it. Ironically, Cillian Murphy, the guy who plays Tommy Shelby, is literally 5'7". Oh yeah, and since I'm short and broke, when I go thrifting, nothing fits me. Most of my drip makes me look like a homeless guy because of how oversized and baggy the clothes I can afford are. Good thing I'm in a generation where the homeless gooner aesthetic is in fashion, but any of that old money or distinguished core shit just doesn't work on little boys. Also, I want to make it very clear that I am not trying to be a pick-me, because sympathy seriously only makes it worse. I'm simply complaining because I like to complain, and not because it's gonna fix anything. Height's one of them things that at the end of the day is really not within our control. When all's said and done, I think it's better that we just work on our personalities. To all my short kings who are discouraged by their height, we can grieve together. There is a bright side, I promise. I just can't see it yet because I think I need a stepping stool.